My name is Jade, and this is everything that I read roughly in the month of June. I will admit sometimes I lose track of when I started a book or when I finished it, but roughly the month of June, this is what I've been reading. I did start this series, and it's the Three Dark Crowns series. I have 3 of the 4 books, and I just went through them. So I'll read the back of the first one. Ooh, just a little. And that's what we call good enough. 3 queens, all equal heirs to the crown, and each possessor of a coveted magic. Mirabelle is an elemental, able to spark hungry flames or vicious storms at the snap of her fingers. Catherine is a poisoner, one who can ingest the deadliest poisons without so much as a stomach ache. Arsinoe, a naturalist, is said to have the ability to bloom the reddest rose and control the fiercest of lions. But becoming the queen crowned isn't solely a matter of royal birth. Each sister has to fight for it, and it's not just a game of win or lose, it's life or death. The night the sisters turn 16, the battle begins. The last queen standing gets the crown. So this is the first one in that series, and then the second in the series is Two Dark Reigns. And then the third in the series is One Dark Throne. And then the last one that I still have to read is Queens of Fenburn. So one more to go. I typically don't buy all of the series at one time just to make sure that I actually enjoy the series, but I did with this one, and luckily I liked it. So good luck. Good luck there. The another book that I read in June was The Women of Troy. This one is about, in this daring and timely feminist retelling of the Iliad, Troy has fallen and the victorious Greeks are eager to return home with the spoils of an endless war, including the women of Troy themselves. They await a fair wind for the, oh gosh. When you read these in your head, it's a little, you can pronounce things how you think they'd be pronounced. And yes, this is historical, so should I know how to pronounce it? Probably. Do I? Not all the time. So they await a fair wind for the Aegean, but it does not come because the gods are offended. The body of King Priam lies unburied and desecrated, and so the victors remain suspended, camped in the shadows of the city they destroyed as the coalition that held them together begins to unravel. Old feuds resurface, and new suspicions and rivalries fester. The one-time Trojan queen Briseis, formerly Achilles' slave and now belonging to his companion Alcimus, quietly takes in these developments. She forges alliances when she can with Priam's aged wife, the defiant Hecuba, and with the disgraced soothsayer Calchas, all the while shrewdly seeking her path to revenge. Really good. There's some tricky names in there. Okay, so this is the end of the Serpent and Dove trilogy, and this one is called Gods and Monsters. I have another video where I talk about Serpent and Dove, and the second one, which is Blood and Honey, right here. So if you want a little bit more in depth on what these are about, I would go and watch that video. But essentially, it is a witch who falls in love with a witch hunter, their story, and how everything plays out. And then I have a couple of books that I have to take back to the library. So this one I do believe I read in June. The next one that I'm going to show, I think I started in June and then I finished reading it in July. So hey, if that doesn't count, that's up for you to decide. But I'm going to do it in this video because I have to take these library books back. So, This one is called Toad. Sally Gunner has withdrawn from the world. She spends her days alone at home, reading drugstore mysteries, polishing the doorknobs, waxing the floors. Her only companions are a vase of goldfish, a garden toad, and the door-to-door salesman who sells her cleaning supplies once a month. She broods over her deepest regrets, her blighted romances with self-important men, her lifelong struggle to feel at home in her own body, and her wayward early 20s when she was a fish out of water among a group of eccentric, privileged young people at a liberal arts college. There was Sam, an unabashed collector of other people's stories, Carlotta, a troubled free spirit, and Rennell, a self-obsessed philosophy student. Self-deprecating and sardonic, Sally recounts with their misadventures up to the tragedy that tore them apart. Colorful, crass, and profound. Toad is Catherine Dunn's ode to her time as a student at Reed College in the late 1960s. It is filled with the same mordant observations about the darkest aspects of human nature that made Geek Love a cult classic and Dunn a misfit hero. Daring and bizarre, Toad demonstrates her genius for black humor and her ecstatic celebration of the grotesque. 50 some years after it was written, Toad is a timely story about the ravages of womanhood and a powerful addition to the canon of feminist fiction. It was good. And then the last book that I read, again in June, very beginning of July, would be Dances. At age 22, Cece Cordell reaches the pinnacle of her career as a ballet dancer when she's promoted to principal at the New York City Ballet. She's instantly catapulted into celebrity, heralded for her inspirational role as the first Black principal in the famed company's history. Even as she celebrates the achievements of a lifelong dream, Cece remains haunted by the feeling that she doesn't belong. As she waits for some feeling of rightness that doesn't arrive, she begins to unravel the loose threads of her past. An absent father, a pragmatic mother who dismisses Cece's ambitions, and a missing older brother who stoked her childhood love of ballet but disappeared to deal with his own demons. Soon after her promotion, Cece is faced with a choice that has the potential to derail her career and shatter the life she's cultivated for herself, sending her on a pilgrimage to both find her brother and reclaim the parts of herself lost in the grinding machinery of the traditional ballet world. Written with spellbinding beauty and ballet's precise structure, Dances centers on women, art, and power, and how we come to define freedom for ourselves. It's a really good book. Overall, it was an excellent month of reading. I'm going to give all of these, aside from the library books, but I'm going to give the books that I own a stamp that is just like my own personal stamp for my personal collection, my little library that I am amassing. Yeah. There we go. They're all stamped up. Time to put them on the shelf. Eventually, I'm going to organize this bookshelf. I haven't yet, but I need to at some point. Right now, I'm just kind of filling it, but it will be organized at some point. And that's everything that I've been reading. I hope you check out some of the books. They were really good, and I'll be back soon with everything else that I've been reading in the month of July.